Women saved, Luke. Did you know? How do you feel? How do you feel finding out today, Luke, that you will never be a woman? How do you feel about that?
I guess pretty good.
Yeah.
I get to keep my navigation skills.
The rims on your car won't get scraped. That's good.
Yeah. I think that's great. That's awesome.
The UK, of all places, Supreme Court has ruled that trans women do not fit the legal term for a woman in a landmark decision. This is a big deal.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know how the UK beat us to it, but I'm seriously hoping that the United States will also codify this, because it's important for, women that want to feel safe when they're in the changing room or whatever the case may be, to at least have that Supreme Court rule behind them saying, hey, the Supreme Court ruled that, men can't be in women's locker rooms. Like, I think that was all a weird psyop to, to demoralize women. I don't know how else you could interpret it. What do you think, Luke?
Yeah, I know. I think it was a psychological operation and weapon to keep the people divided against each other, to spur on more gender confusion, and to promote largely what is a death cult and eugenics operation that prevents people from having families and children. I think that was the bigger agenda at play here. That was a lot more sinister and a lot more evil, as of course they turned people's emotions against themselves to create these self-destructive kind of emotional and physical behaviors that result in them cutting off their genitalia, eugenicizing themselves, and making them dependent on big pharma for the rest of their lives here. So with this Supreme Court ruling in the UK, I mean, I won't be surprised if they get arrested, if the Supreme Court in the UK gets arrested and thrown in jail for the horrible crime of misgendering someone. I mean, I remember when I was in the UK, I was doing a SOT. I was just interviewing people on the street, and I was like, hey, would you like the First Amendment? Like, what would you do? What would you say if you had the First Amendment? And then just one guy. And again, this is just a random kind of sample. But so many people in the United Kingdom get arrested every single day because of their political opinions. It's terrifying and scary to kind of understand that. But I met a random guy that called a tranny a bloke.
Oops.
and they literally put him away. He had to go to court. It was a big case. And the guy, knowingly just didn't try to be disrespectful. He didn't try to be mean. He literally saw a bloke, and he was like, hey, bloke.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that, right?
He called a he-she a bloke, and then the he-she called the police, and then he was arrested. So that's the type of stuff that has been going on there for quite a while. As now, I mean, the whole UK government is just totally evil and corrupted. I mean, I've been seeing videos from police officers there just going around being like, you better not pray. You better not have a sticker.
Well, unless you're praying to Allah, Luke.
Yeah, unless you're Muslim, then you can pray.
Allah's
Everyone
fine.
help you facilitate that. But you pray to a Christian God, even silently in your own head, jail right away. You're praying in your mind. Yeah, I am. Jail. Let me put out the rug for you, Muhammad.
Right. Let me stop the traffic. Here. Let me stop traffic for you, Muhammad.
Yeah, here. Let me give you a huge megaphone here. And
would you like to groom my daughter? We won't even report on it.
Yeah, you can get away with it. We won't charge you because we're worried about the reaction people are going to get, thinking that we're racist, because if we punish you for the crimes you commit against small children here, that's going to make us look bad. So
can't do it. Can't do it, Luke.
Rain. Have some children at it. Yeah. Take them away.
Yeah. It's wild. But I'm really proud of the women that push this in the UK. Will this lead to a ruling in America?
Change? No, I think the UK is gone. I want to ask you: do you think there's going to be a kind of revolution politically, socially, in the United Kingdom that's so far gone? Is there any saving the UK?
Yes, I do think there is. I think if we look at it this way, the UK is very old, right? America's not even that old. America's 500 years old. The United Kingdom is thousands of years old, and in those thousands of years, things have happened, things have changed, things have evolved. And I do think if they don't stop mass unchecked invasion by 60 IQ animals, they are close to being lost forever. Every time I see like a government official in the UK, they're brown. Like the white people there that built that country have been completely diluted by worse people. Sorry if it's too harsh, but Tony Blair, there's a lot that the UK may never recover from. But I think look at the United States, what happened to us over the last 4 years, and the massive unchecked immigration, the politically motivated immigration. I think that you can fix that. I think that there's been a bubbling underneath, a populist movement there, of people that love their country and don't want all these animals being imported. I really hope, and I say this because the only other alternative there is doom and gloom from my UK viewers and my friends in the UK. I have friends there, and I thought they had a chance with UKIP, but UKIP kind of fell apart, and I don't know.
Isn't Tommy Robinson still in jail? Right
Tommy
now?
Robinson will remain in prison until July, is what I heard from his people.
In solitary confinement.
In solitary, yeah. I mean, America's young. She's 300. She'd slap you if she said 500. Right. I'm sorry, 300. I mean, I think that America went from slavery to Donald Trump as president, populist movement in a relatively short period of time. And in the world, America looks very different now than it did just 50 years ago. So I think the same can be done in the UK. And I can tell you what, the people are going to have to do it. America had this big movement in 2016, one that will be studied, I think, in, I'm kind of, will be studied in 100 years. People look back at the 2016 presidential election and see how, a reality television show star won the presidential election because the people mobilized and said, we don't want any more of this. We're sick of all that. So I'm hoping that I'm hoping that the UK can do the same, because the alternative.
What do you think are the first steps that need to happen for this to kind of be facilitated? Like,
close the borders.
How would this kind of play out here? Because, I like your optimism, but I think at a certain level, I mean, they're arresting people for calling people blokes, and that's what they were doing years ago.
I know.
And they're now making an example out of people and arresting them for just the slightest bit of political expression that doesn't go along with their kind of perceived norms.
Yeah, I mean, I think it starts with closing the borders. If they can't get those borders closed, they're doomed. That's the number one thing that has to happen. If I'm in the UK, I'm voting for whatever candidate will close those borders. They are doomed. I mean, how many knife attacks has Poland had? Since they said, "Hey, we're not going to take any migrants."
I think there was one recent one of a Jamaican that stabbed a male, but that's because
was he there on vacation?
The new Polish government has been opening up the border.
Oh, we'll see. Yeah, that proves my point. I mean, until the border was opened, Poland was, at least, no country is perfect, but they weren't dealing with importing crime. America imported a ton, hundreds of thousands of criminals. And, it's going to take 20 years to undo that. But I think it can be done, but they have to do what Trump has promised to do. And America has to do, Trump has to do what he promised to do. I am extremely disappointed in the deportation numbers, and I'm rapidly becoming convinced that Trump is going to let the illegals that aren't actively in gangs stay. He's flirted with letting the farm workers and hotel workers stay. I think he's getting. That's why they're pushing this. Oh, it's MS-13. It's gonna be, all this stuff. Like, I don't know. So they've got to clean up the migrant problem. They've got to clean up the massive invasion of Muslims because their way of living is incompatible with the West. They need to get rid of the Muslim invasion. Stop the Muslim invasion. It's incompatible with the West. I saw a video yesterday floating around the internet of this Muslim guy just like kicking the crap out of his wife, and everyone's just standing around, and while she's holding a baby. It's like, well, it's not like that doesn't happen in America, but we don't want to import more of it.
Yeah, I mean, they're mandating film screenings of propaganda films that are making white small boys in the UK look like stabbers when they're portraying a story that, of course, didn't happen with the white male. Yeah. Right. So, I mean, you have the prime minister literally coming out saying, we're going to make this man, everyone's going to watch this in school. I sent you the article from what was going on in Poland there as well. But man, that level of indoctrination, that level of propaganda, that level of sinisterness, goodness gracious. I mean, it's
a patient.
Wild. Yeah.
A patient stabbed an EMS worker.
The other one before that,
he was drunk though. That's probably not so bad. Like he was probably just.
I'm pulling up articles. The one I sent before that is the more
Jamaican arrested. Yeah.
Yeah.
On random local. I thought the Rastafaris were like,
chill, brah.
Yeah, I thought they were all about chillaxing.
When you look at the rape percentages of Jamaica and how it handles assault on women, it doesn't really show a chill society.
They have their prison system is famously known as being brutal. I think they call it the coat.